had to go back to Bethune to finish my degree while I was waiting on a call from a team, bruh. Like, this is the year after, just last year this time, I was the man on campus. Like, everybody knew I was going to the league.
Right.
Well, now you got cut, and now you're literally back on campus that following fall semester finishing your degree. So I had pre-graduation depression.
You know, HBCUs were built, you know, on overcoming adversity for our people, you know. So you go to, you know, place that's rich in history like that, that's rich in people that love the place where they're at, and want to bring more people through that love, you know, that changes a person. It makes
If you, I always say that fear of your past is depression. Fear of your future gives you anxiety. But if you're wavering in between your future and your past, you can't be grounded in the present to know what decisions to make. You know what I'm saying? That'll be beneficial for you. And so I just tell people to find out what gives you peace and find out how you can stay grounded in the midst of any storm, the anxiety and the depression storm, because I think they go hand in hand. I don't think it's just depression or it's just anxiety. I think sometimes they're like at the same family.
And welcome to the Yard Linkup, man. It's your boy DC right here.
Hey, it's your girl Brittany Passion. No talk, all action.
Boo.
You a hater, DC. And to my left we have
Stevie Baggs Jr.
And don't forget the Junior.
Please
all right.
Don't forget it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, y'all? My name's Isaac Williams, aka King Isaac. If you know me on IG, you probably seen me doing the drum major move, teaching the drum major move, or at a band event. So, you know, we love our HBCU bands. So we're going to keep it that way.
Shout out to the bands.
For sure, for sure.
Sir.
Now, look, I'm going to have to go on and get into it, right? Today, we got a special guest, my
Special
guest.
Okay.
This ain't really just a certain interview. You feel me? This is going to be a conversation as well.
Yes.
So this ain't really just, hey, you know, you get the general interviews of, man, so Steve, how was the NFL? How was the this, that, and the third?
Right.
This ain't really that. This is a deeper conversation about HBCUs on a deeper level.
That's what's up. I'm looking forward to it, and I appreciate y'all, you know, for having me on, what's it, the Yard Linkup?
The Yard Linkup, baby.
You know what I'm saying? That part. We on the yard, that part.
We on the yard. But look, before we get into it, we're going to go to the DJ for a minute, all right? We're going to let him do his thing. DJ, do say what's happening.
What we got?
Turn on there, DJ.
Come on, DJ.
Yeah.
What you know about that, youngin?
A whole bunch.
Yeah, he went to Cookman, so you know, I know he's strapped.
Yeah, bro.
I think they like me when they heard me on the other one. So it's only right.
No, hit that drop. Hit that drop.
He said, let me get the button. Let me get the button.
There we go. DC, who you represent?
Alabama State all day.
I mean, you ain't say it.
ASU.
Period.
Look, man.
I represent Big Blue.
Do Michael Jordan walk in the room and have to introduce himself?
Ooh, okay.
Right.
I like that. All right. Finger snap. Okay.
You said Big Blue, you talking about
Big
Hampton?
Blue. Hampton.
Oh.
It's all love. It's all HBCU love.
I'm just sorry.
But Big Blue D, Tennessee State University.
Shout out TSU, man.
Shout out to TSU. And while you talking, Hampton was actually my first choice. But we'll talk about that a little later.
You like being around that color for some reason.
I do.
Well, I'm a proud representative of Bethune-Cookman
Yes,
University,
sir.
man.
Yep.
Shout out to Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Hell, Wildcats.
Same here, BCU, baby, all day.
I feel
That's
ganged
fine.
up on.
no,
How we
no,
get to
no.
Bethune-Cookman? How?
Yeah.
I don't even know, man. But we finna hurry up and get rid of one of them right after this interview.
And listen, let me tell you something. It's gonna be hard to do that.
Yep.
They might want to keep us
Don't go
around.
down fighting.
Nah, man. Nah, but
Kicking
look,
this swing.
why DJ Duce got the turntables hot over there? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start it off with some fun on a light note.
Yes.
Now, he gonna give you a song.
Okay.
And we want you to tell us what comes to mind
When you hear this
when
song.
you hear this song during your time in college.
Okay,
Yes.
let's do it.
Go
We got
give
a
us
wide
something.
range of years here.
We do.
We do.
We
You know,
do.
we ain't gonna tell our age
We
though.
do.
We ain't gonna tell our age.
I'm not mad at it because when you look better than people that's younger than you, you can do your thing.
You
with
trying
it.
to say you look better than DC?
You said that you came out your mouth, young lady.
Right now, Stevie Baggs Jr.
That came out of your mouth, young lady.
I just know the black don't crack. That's all. I knew we can all
I
agree
know
on that.
a lot of black
For sure.
that does crack, brother.
Yeah.
But it's not here today.
It ain't here today. It ain't here today. It ain't here
As
today.
bad as we didn't want to say, yeah, we all do. We was just like,
We know somebody though.
Yeah.
I would pause.
You
bro.
like, man, you don't look the same like did in college. Come home, I'm like, brother, nah, you ain't got it no more. You ain't got it.
Holy Toledo.
You ain't got it. Well, DJ Duce drop the first song for us. What we got?
All right, Stevie, stay on now. Think about it.
That's easy. I'm talking about in the club. We used to have a club in Daytona called, oh man, the owner name was Rap. So you'll be an example of what's going on there. And man, look, I was out of school by this time, but I tell you what, it was just turning front, it was dread swinging. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. I was on that. That's what it was. Swinging dread. You know what I'm saying? And I did have them. Go do your research.
Your research. DC, you swinging your dreads. What kind of mind for you?
Funny thing is, I was in college with this.
Really? I was. Oh, when it first came out, no. But it was the song. It was the song.
Man, I think about fighting. People,
Yeah.
I think about people fighting all the time. But I think about strolling too.
Yeah, I'm about to say, for me, it was a Greek strolling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
for
a
sure.
lot of strolling too. But then you gotta think, it was a lot of locals around too.
Yeah.
It was more so of them than people in college who was trying to throw hands. But
Yeah.
definitely Greek life.
Yeah, definitely Greek life for sure.
Yeah, I'm
Greek
thinking
life,
about
shaking
the
the
road.
dreads. What about you?
So we had this thing called late night cab. So the cab be open till like what 1 a.m. All they serve wings and fries. Everybody's in there one night. I remember. I'm not Greek, but I remember this song came on and literally everybody started strolling.
Yeah, that's
and
not
it's
what
like,
they doing.
all the lines was like, I guess everybody had like a dish stroll. I guess everybody was doing a dish stroll at the same time. So it just got rowdy in there. Just people who was trying to fight.
Man, that's a late night
Knucking
cab,
and
though.
bucking.
That's a late night cab.
That's crazy. Well, we all got our own experiences, and thoughts off of those songs, man. But you going to cut that juice, cut that home, DJ.
Thank you, DJ Duce.
All right. So, what is something about your HBCU experience that people should know?
You coming to me first?
No, we're coming to
We
you
coming to
first.
you, Stevie?
We're coming to you.
I just wanted to make sure. Wow. What is something about my HBCU experience that I want people to know?
Something that you learned or took away from it.
I'll tell you this. It's the best decision that I made from an educational perspective, from a building resilience perspective.
Say that again.
You know, it's like when you come from an HBCU, there's a certain level of resilience that you have that when you go out in any part of the world, no matter what industry you're in, you're able to do above and beyond what your counterparts can do. You know, and to my knowledge, I think it's because the lack of resources gives you a level of resourcefulness. So when you don't have resources, then you leverage your resourcefulness. And I think if you have the ability and the talent and the acumen in whatever you're doing, then that just takes you to another level. So that's
Right.
what I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. And I tell people that all the time when they ask me. I'm like, it taught me how to survive. It taught me how to survive, and I am forever grateful for the experience because, like you said, going out into the real world after, a lot of people give up too quick. They give up too quick. They're not used to the rejection and the no's, but it's like you go to HBCU, you come out with a little skin in the game, a little more grit than for me personally than my friends who went to PWI. So
Correct.
What about you, DC?
Man, it really taught me a different level of appreciation for our own people because when you go to a HBCU, I mean, you go in having appreciation for our people because there's us.
Right.
But you meet so many different, of us from different walks of life.
Yeah.
And you learn how to adapt to so many different people. And that was one thing. And it also taught me the art of networking like crazy with your own people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can walk into a room, granted, we didn't all go to the same HBCU. Y'all did, but we didn't all go to the same HBCUs. However, hey, if I'm applying for a job or something, you went to an HBCU where so this person probably went to this other, whatever. But it's still a connection there, and it taught me the power of connecting with our own people.
Yeah, that family love. And I could think when I was working, I work now, but when I had a 9 to 5, the 9 to 5s I had, I'm trying to think, most of it was through connection, through that HBCU experience. They seen that Tennessee State on their resume and they like, okay, well, I went to Bethune-Cookman or I went to Howard. And so that love, that family connection is always there. Absolutely. So what about you?
Yeah, there's a big thing that I learned is discipline, self-discipline. And, when you go off to college, you out there by yourself. It's you getting that degree. It's not your mama, it's not your daddy, it's your brother. It's just you. And it's going to be a lot of times when, you might not be in the best, situation, or you might not be in the most comfortable situation. Right. But you're gonna have to find a way out of it. The resourcefulness, like I was talking about, is that's when it's built. And in those moments like that of adversity. And, HBCUs were built, on overcoming adversity for our people. So you go to a place that's rich in history like that's rich in people that love the place where they're at and want to bring more people through that love. That changes a person. It makes you appreciative of, what you chose, and once you graduate, boom, it's like, I stand on this decision. I love this school. This where I went. And like you said, I see somebody else that go to HBCU. It's like, okay, you had a little bit of the same experience that I had, you know? So, that's already off of rip, something I can relate to you off of.
And I want to interject on that because I think the resourcefulness, the stick-to-itiveness, the grind, the grit that we're talking about, we want better for our schools. We want better for the future. But I think if you don't have that level of grit and grind, then you don't know and you don't understand that it doesn't take just mental toughness. It doesn't take just discipline. It doesn't take just having a good heart. It don't take money. It takes everything to win. Right. You got to have all of those attributes. Yeah. You know what I mean? In order to really win in life. And I think, of course, when you go to an HBCU and you travel to other HBCUs and you see, man, there's a similarity in the calf, and oh man, I see that on the yard, and okay, this school might have more students or might be in a bigger, better facilities, but there's still a certain level of similarities that we all have to deal with, right? Absolutely. Consequently, I think that when we make it too easy, right? I think that's when we lose that essence that an HBCU really has, and that makes us different. I'd say that.
That's real. Okay, Mr. Stevie Baggs Jr. Stevie Baggs Jr.
Yeah, I don't brag. I don't do a whole lot of bragging. I just do bagging.
I just do bagging.
You ain't got to when you
bagging, you ain't got to brag.
When you bagging, you ain't got to brag. Say that. So speaking of, since we're talking about what our HBCUs did for us and things we were taught and things we learned, you do a lot. You're an author, an actor, a motivational speaker. So who was Stevie at Bethune-Cookman? Talk to us a little bit about who you were, what you do, and then how you transitioned to the Stevie you are today.
Wow. As a football player, student athlete, that's what I was. I took my education just as serious as I took football. And my degree was in international business. And, it was serious with football. I took my football serious. But, man, I had fun. I was
live
involved.
life. You was outside.
I was involved. You know, and
outside.
I was outside to a degree to where I didn't didn't interfere with my vision and my goals for myself.
Right.
After I left Cookman, right? Yeah, I had fun and I did my thing, but I also made the main thing the main thing.
Okay.
Right, and I was making sure that my responsibilities, being a first generation college student, I was a trailblazer, so to speak. And I think that we oftentimes in our community and our people, we always celebrate being man, I got it out the mud. I was the first one, and well, I don't want to have to do that. My children don't have to do that now. And at a place where sometimes you can be a pathfinder, not a trailblazer. And I think that's a good thing. And I think we should sometimes start embracing that instead of embracing, man, boy, I got it out the mud and it was so hard. And no, hold on, it don't always have to be hard.
Right.
Man, I have mentors that say, hey, bro, do this and do that. So the Stevie back then was, I was turned when it was, it's just like now. I play hard, but I play harder. I work hard, but I play harder. But I always keep the main thing because I don't want anything to interfere with my purpose.
Right.
And it doesn't mean I didn't make mistakes and don't make mistakes. But I turn, every loss into a lesson. And that's how I was back then. And now I'm just a more refined version of that young man.
And I'm glad you touched on that too, because I ain't gonna lie, our athletes, man, they didn't take their education serious.
I had so many guys that I played with that could have went to the next level, but because they didn't have those ingredients I was talking about, the mental toughness, the physical attributes, and the discipline and all that.
Right.
When you got to have it all to win, and at every new level, when you get to that next level, you're now at the bottom. So now your work ethic and your diligence and those attributes has to be a part of the equation for you to go to that next level.
Yeah.
And I think, when a person just has it, they have it, and that it can travel in any realm and be able to shine. That's what I think.
That's real.
Absolutely.
So what about you? What about you, DC? Who was DC? what all you had going on when you was in school, DC?
I feel like that's when DC really became DC for real.
Okay.
I was pretty much, I was always like chill for the most part. I turned up, and I think when I did get to college, it added a lot up under my belt though. I was always me. I never changed from going, Greek, from whatever. I never changed.
Right.
But I was me. I was me to just keep it. I was me. I'm gonna leave like that. I was finna, say something to them, because I was
if
a
y'all
man.
know DC,
No, I was a man.
Ladies, let me know how DC was.
That's all you need to say.
I was chill. I was pretty much the same. I was pretty much the same person, but I grew so much. Of course, if you go in and come out the same person, then you really,
it was like, what was you doing it
serve
for?
no purpose.
Right.
Yeah, but I turned up. I had my fun. I was. I'm gonna have to ask Adrena, who's off camera, how I was in college. Did anybody ever say anything about me?
She shook her head. Now she said, "I plead the fifth."
But yeah, that was it for me, for real.
Okay.
Well,
my boy said, "Well."
Listen, this your time, pop it. This your time.
man, so I absolutely enjoy, and I can remember literally every moment. It was like my bad moments, my great moments. I remember them all, and I don't regret any of them. So who I was, I think just echo who I really wanted to be as a person. I was drum major in the band, so I was,
don't just dance over that.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Drum major, and then I became the head drum major too.
Yes.
So like it's a student leadership position. Everybody's always looking at you or coming for you for something.
Yes.
The band staff is looking at your director, Dr. Wells. So it was a chance to always be looking at myself and self-evaluating.
Yes.
And seeing if what I'm gonna do, because the decision I made was a reflection of really like kind of the band.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At some point. So I had to watch myself and check myself. So it was, like I said, I still had my fun and everything, but I just wanted to make sure that I was always becoming the person that I was, but still not getting too obsessed with that at the same time. But because you don't want to get like too caught up, in trying to be one thing. You got to be open to criticism from all around. So it really has helped me to like, just be more accepting of where the places I end up in life, where life can take you, because you can't really improve until you accept where you at. And I think that's a lot of, something roadblock that a lot of people hit a lot of times.
Preach.
It's like, why can't I get out of this rut, get out of this season of my life? It's because you ain't accepted that's where you're at. That's where your higher power puts you in that moment. So you might need to like work your way out of that and then figure out who you are. So that was pretty much my whole college experience, just figuring out who I was, as a young black man. So yeah, we here now.
All right.
Well, no. What about you? You don't
Don't scare.
It's like, okay. I'm trying to go to the next question. Like
everybody was waiting.
Just like a real woman. That's a real woman right there.
Look, trying to dance now. I loved Tennessee State. Like you, I was the first generation to go to college in my family, so it was a lot of pressure. And I was like, listen, I just want to have a good time. I want to enjoy myself. I wanted to get away from home. 5 hours. Yeah, I think Tennessee is 5 hours. I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio, small town. And I just wanted to spread my wings. I don't know. And so when I came to TSU, I looked around. It was a culture shock for me. I went to a Catholic high school, but I lived in the hood. And I get to TSU, and I'm like, hey, y'all, hey. It was just a big culture shock. But I did cheer at Tennessee State University. I also was the vice president of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. But outside of that, like he said, I was just trying to find out who Brittany was without all of the accolades. Like in high school, I did a lot, student council, all this stuff. College, I knew I was going to do a lot, but I really wanted to find out who I was to the core of me if I wasn't a cheerleader, if I wasn't an AK, if I wasn't involved in all of these things, because my whole life, everybody has only seen all of these things. Right. But I lived life. I had fun, learned a lot, loved a lot.
Loved a lot. Yeah. You know what? I should have said that. That's what I should have said.
What?
That's a great way
I learned a lot. I loved a lot.
You loved a lot.
During that time, you find your first. Well, some of y'all, I don't know.
You said you lusted a lot. You said love.
Loved. I found my first love. I was booed up. Okay, so don't do that, DC.
I just had to make sure.
I was booed up. But yeah, so I just really enjoyed my experience, and like I said, took it for what it was, and did a lot of soul searching and figuring out who I was outside of everything and all the titles and labels that was attached to me. And so now, look, here we are.
Did you literally know? Did you go into school with that mindset though, knowing that you would want to find yourself and that you were going to find yourself? Okay,
I didn't.
All right, yeah.
I didn't go in.
I was about to say you were very. I mean, you were
look,
way ahead of your time, because I'm like, man, I didn't know.
But I wasn't that ahead of my time. I didn't know until probably around my sophomore year. I started feeling myself change, and I'm like, oh, who is this person? Okay, but I like who this person is, because a lot of people have a certain perception of you, right? You a football player, so they have a certain perception. Band, certain perception. Mm-hmm. But that's your perception. That doesn't mean that that's who I am.
Right.
So I had to find out who Brittany was without everybody else's perception. Oh, she's this popular girl, but y'all
and
don't
even
know.
Living up to that perception.
And
right?
Exactly.
Which is sometimes what we do.
Yeah, we just take it on like, well, you already said I'm this, I'm stuck up, or I'm this, so let me carry that. And it's like, that's not even who I am. And that's not who I desire to be, so.
Makes a lot of sense. So we're going to move right along, right? Now, I know a lot of y'all that had money probably your whole life. Now, for me, I had to eat in the calf. So I know y'all probably were getting DoorDash before DoorDash or whatever y'all were getting
now
the
we
dash
had
to
money.
you. Y'all had the money. But, so, first of all, everybody eating the calf.
Absolutely. Especially on Wednesday.
You got to ask these questions.
I ate in the calf.
Especially on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
See, I sold my
calf.
I sold mine at TSU. I think it was called Decline and Balance. So I sold mine after like 3 months of my freshman year, because I ain't really. I wasn't spoiled. I was a little bougie.
That's why I had to ask
a little bougie. I had a little booze, so I wanted to go to his house to cook. So I sold mine. I sold mine.
Let me tell you the levels of this, DC. Calf, and I'm sorry for interjecting on y'all, bro.
The calf, man.
He said they had wings and fries late night. We don't even know nothing about that.
Wait, which I had?
And we went to we didn't have anything. When the calf closed, got doggone it was closed.
Oh, yeah.
Right, at Cookman. And then the food that you ate was not nutritionally on a high level
at all.
You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, well, you said wings and fries, but still, like, we would have been happy to get some wings and fries, of course, in college, right? And on a late night. But I've gone to HBCUs. They got Chick-fil-A in there and the calf, and I'm like, hold up.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's levels to it.
I think we had
it's levels to the calf.
I think we had Taco Bell and KFC.
See what I'm saying?
And then maybe pizza. Either Pizza Hut or Domino.
We had nothing.
We didn't have any of that at Cookman.
The food company.
We didn't have that at Cookman.
That's crazy because we had the regular calf. We had a place called the Sports Page and a place called the Hole in the Wall. The Hole in the Wall was like a soul food spot that was in the
Y'all had soul food?
Yeah, we had a soul food spot.
Damn.
The Sports Page was like, it had been there for forever. Chicken tenders, burgers, all that. Sports Page was hidden. It reminded you of something that was on like a different world or something. It was like just that spot, right? If you're not going to the calf.
Right.
But later on, before I graduated, when the new union was built, that's when they started incorporating like Subway and different restaurants. So what I will say, or what I will ask rather, what I guess whether it was Chicken Wednesday or Fish Friday, whatever, what day of the week would have y'all rushing to class or late for class? Like, I got to get some more of this food real quick or something. Now I don't think I've ever had that issue. I didn't want it that bad, but you know what I'm saying. But what's something that the calf did serve that had y'all like, you know what? Yeah, I might be late for class today. I'm gonna eat.
I want to hear his because he's younger than me and we went to the same school.
The wings and fries?
No, not wings and fries. See, that late night calf, that only lasted a year because we turned it up so much.
They said, nah, we can't be.
They was like, we can't have them out this late. But we had fried chicken Wednesday. So we had chapel. Soon we get out chapel. Everybody in they dressed up. And chapel was like a church service basically. You know,
that's crazy.
So we get out, go straight to the calf. I mean, we be sprinting. And it's like 90 degrees. We all in suit and tie and stuff. And we go and get this fried chicken, mac and cheese, and collard greens. But it was good. And
fried chicken Wednesdays.
Yes.
Stevie looking like, bro.
That's the same thing.
So they had that deal when you
had that. That's a tradition.
Okay.
That's a tradition. I didn't know they still had that though, bro. So that's and I was gonna say that. You know, we called it Soul Food Wednesday, but you know, in the business building, we had to dress up every Wednesday as well. Anyway, so after you get through your general studies classes, and you know, as a freshman, young people, and like we didn't have to go to chapel after a freshman year, but then we all, it was like, boy, I got to get that fried chicken, that macaroni and cheese. It was up,
and the line was long too.
And the line was long, and you know, I had a little pull, so I used to do my one
try
too.
To skip the line.
I used to do my little one too, but
hey, Miss
like you looking nice today.
That was my girl. That was my girl.
I'm like, how you doing, baby? Extra scoop.
Right. He got the extra macaroni.
It was up.
Y'all won last week. Here go an extra piece of chicken, baby.
Hallelujah.
Hey.
Hallelujah.
What about you?
For me, it was Fish Friday.
Really?
That fish used to be hitting. So the times I didn't eat in the cab, I made sure that I was there on Fish Friday. Because let me tell you, I don't know what they did to that fish, but it had a little drugs in it or something. Fish Friday for sure. But we did have we had Courtyard Wednesdays, and so I think they might have sold. You said soul food Wednesday. I think they might have had soul food on Wednesdays. I ain't never had it, but everybody would be dressed up. I know we would be dressed in like full-fledged suits, walking around, and the cab would be jumping. It would be jumping on Wednesdays and Fridays. The other days, but Wednesdays and Fridays, you want to put on your best outfit because it's like a big family reunion. The Courtyard, the DJs, is just lit, and everybody coming to get some good food. But yeah, I say Fish Fridays for us.
So at Cookman, bro, I gotta ask them this: if you were like one of the first ones when it opened, like if you got there for breakfast or if you got there at lunch, every time you go back, if you're the first thing that opens, you got to do the prayer. So did y'all still have the prayer?
Oh, yeah. So
yes. You're the first person there, then you got to do the prayer?
Yeah, but it's an actual prayer that we had. It was
I know
a
it.
prayer.
Like on the intercom.
Say it.
Christ is head of his house.
Unseen guest at every meal.
The silent list of every conversation.
Amen. Like that's literally, and that lets you know though, like when a school has them type of tradition, that lets you know what it is. That's wild, bro.
And the band, we definitely do that like before every
meal.
Breakfast. Yeah, every
I'm 20 years. I got out of there in 2004. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be 2024. I'm coming up on my 20 years.
Shout out to 20 years.
Yeah, shout out to 20 years. But I just love the fact that some of the staples in the tradition
still there.
Are still there, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. So I wanted to find out about it. And we had Bethune Grill. I got to give a shout out to Bethune Grill. You know what I'm saying? Bethune Grill is like on the edge of campus. It's a stone's throw from whatever. And the best wings in Daytona Beach, Florida, bro. This sauce they got. Every time I go back to Daytona, I got to go shop by Bethune
Grill.
Yeah, shout out Bethune Grill.
Shout out to Bethune Grill.
Shout out to Bethune Grill. If I go, I need to try that.
You have to. You got to.
We're going to have to take a road trip.
They sell the sauce all by
Yard
itself.
Linkup on tour, baby. We coming to Bethune going to be the first stop we make, okay?
Yeah, tell them that. Tell them that, Jose.
They sell that sauce by itself.
Oh, in a bottle?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's that busting.
Oh, it's busting.
It's
heavily.
like that.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
It's like that.
That's crazy. That's dope. That's dope. But look, let's get into this main topic real quick.
You ain't answer.
Yeah, I know.
You was getting meals cooked for you.
Chicken. Nah, I wasn't getting no meals cooked. What are you talking about? You know?
Go ahead.
Chicken. It was chicken for me, though.
Okay.
That's
like
another
chicken
difference,
tenders,
though, DC. We couldn't have visitors. We couldn't have, because Bethune is a Methodist school. And
Right.
it's, you know, private school. And so we couldn't have women in the dorm. We couldn't be in their dorm, at least when I was there. Did they change that? I mean, of
Look,
course.
he like,
Of course, hold on. You know the sneak game.
Exactly.
Sneak game was what it was. So if she put that hoodie on, you know that. You know, come on through, baby. You might think it's a dude.
I'll say that is a subjective rule.
Right.
Depending on who you know, what dorm you in, where you at. But he'll know there.
But now it's totally different, right?
Oh, yeah, totally
because at ASU, we couldn't either at first. And like, once again, right before I got out, they was like testing it out. You know, like how's visitation gonna work?
Not testing it.
They was testing it out. I don't know what they thought was like.
See,
They were testing it out. But I think now, if I'm not mistaken, I think now they just have visitors or whatever because they end up building a co-ed dorm right before.
Yeah, we
before I
had a
left.
co-ed dorm
But
too.
it was floors though.
We
But
got one
however,
too, yeah.
that
You
made
ain't
it
finna
even.
stop. Yeah, you're not finna stop the pressure.
Yeah.
You're not about to start the
That
pressure,
made it
bro.
worse if anything. Just
Right.
making co-ed dorms. So I think now,
And kids nowadays is woo.
They'll find a way. The kids
But you-
find a
you
way.
I'm glad I ain't in college right now, cause baby,
I don't think that you can. I don't think that you can say like no visitors now and everything when you got so many of these other schools that's in competition because a lot of HBCUs are trying to keep up with those schools.
Yeah,
Like, you telling me if I go here to a PWI or something, I can just have visitors freely.
I can bring my
do whatever I
car,
wanna do. I can do all that. Now
Right.
HBCUs, I feel like they had to actually match that.
But parents will probably be like, I want you to go to the place that has no visitation.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, at least, especially the females, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to know because I know y'all have TSU, Alabama State. Y'all had a huge population of students, bigger than Cookman. When I got to Cookman, it was like 2,500. I had 3,000 in my high school. I went to Cookman and had 2,500 students when I was there. You know, I don't know what the population is now, but
It's probably like a little bit, almost double that. But it's not big still. So
Yeah,
it's-
that's small.
about 5,000, right?
Yeah.
And when you got a TSU, which is big,
Huge.
ASU, I know y'all big, and then Texas Southern and all these schools that have 10, 15,000 students. It's
It's
like
still rules in place,
yeah,
but it's harder to manage.
no, I bet.
I believe
It's
it.
harder to
A
manage.
lot harder. But look, we're gonna get into the main topic. Post-grad depression. We know
Post-grad
that's something
depression.
I feel like that hit a lot of people. A lot of people. And before I get
And
my
it's not
take,
talked about.
it's not talked about. It's really not talked about. But it's it's real.
Yeah.
We talk about mental health all the time now, and so many
Yes.
other types of depression. But post-grad depression is something that's real, and it's not really ever just hit on the head, specifically. So what do y'all? Well, I start out with you, Steve. What do you feel when it comes to post-grad depression? Have you ever experienced it? Do you know people who's had it? What were the effects of it, and what was the result of it?
Wow, that's a deep topic, man, and a strong question because I'll tell you, DC, I remember I was so highly touted coming out of Cookman that I thought I was getting drafted in the first, second, third round. Well, I ended up being a free agent, and after having all the accolades that I was able to receive, Black College Player of the Year and all this stuff, and it's like I had to go back to Bethune to finish my degree while I was waiting on a call from a team, bruh. Like, this is the year after, just last year this time, I was the man on campus. Like, everybody knew I was going to the league.
Right.
Well, now you got cut, and now you're literally back on campus that following fall semester finishing your degree. So I had pre-graduation depression. I didn't even know it, homie. And it was like, as I was working on my degree, finishing up that last semester, because I was a December graduate. Okay. I finished in December.
Right,
I didn't finish, spring. So it's like, bruh, I was dealing with these bad headaches, migraine headaches. I didn't even know. I didn't even understand what I was dealing with, because at that time, you just are taught to thug it out or just keep grinding and keep going and push through.
Yep.
The conversation about mental wellness was not even on the table back in 2004, and it's like, yeah, man, it's something else. And I think that going through that during that time and then full circle, I think postgraduate depression is just a part of life, because at every new season of your life, you're going to have to deal with anxiety and depression and things not going well, and how you cope with that, to me, is basically trying to stay as grounded as you can during all of the noise and all of the chaos. Right. And if I always say that fear of your past is depression. Fear of your future gives you anxiety. Yeah. But if you're wavering in between your future and your past, you can't be grounded in the present to know what decisions to make. You know what I'm saying? That'll be beneficial for you. And so I just tell people to find out what gives you peace and find out how you can stay grounded in the midst of any storm, the anxiety and the depression storm, because I think they go hand in hand. I don't think it's just depression or it's just anxiety. I think sometimes they're like at the same family reunion. You know what I mean? And you kind of deal with them sometimes simultaneously. Dang, the decision that I made in my past is messing up my future. So that depression is giving me anxiety. And you're like, oh my goodness, the walls are closing in. And so I think it's a good conversation to have. But I had it, bro, pre my graduation because of that circumstance, I would say.
That's interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. That's interesting.
Yep.
What about you, Isaac?
Absolutely. And now being outside looking at it, I most for sure had it. Because, so I graduated fall 2019. This is right before COVID slammed down and shut the whole world
Literally
down.
right before.
Literally right before. So I probably had I did have the last in-person graduation before COVID, like period, at our school. So literally going from, staying in a dorm where all your friends are and they right down the hallway, y'all could kick it, from being however far, like probably a state away from all your friends, not being able to talk to any of them. I got all this time to, to fill in. You kind of like feel like you lost your purpose. And I feel like, sometimes people equate they like happiness to like how they feel in the moment, but it's really like in pursuit of happiness. So like if you're trying to be successful, you don't feel successful unless you're pursuing success. Correct. You know what I'm saying? So once that pursuit was over, once I got that degree, I was like, okay, kind of like free floating, like what do I do now? And like I'm having like all these mood swings, like I'm feeling real sad one moment and happy the next, but I know I'm not that kind of person. Like, mentally I'm like, okay, I've never been that kind of person to act like this or feel this way, right? And I don't have a reason to. Like, so why do I feel like that? So it's just because really I felt I didn't know where I was going, what I was going to be doing in that moment, and that's the whole thing. Like I was talking about, like accepting where you're at. I couldn't accept where I was at. So I think once I figured out like where I wanted to go and accepted, like, okay, this is not just happening to me. Let me talk to somebody else about it, and I'm not alone. Yeah. So that's one thing like that was really big for me, was talking about it, and like even calling my mama, because I'm so used to like my mom, saying, oh, he got it, my son. Want my mom to be proud of me, not worry about me. But I'm like, hey, I'm really not feeling like, I'm doing anything with my life right now. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like, what is up, But that's all part of, just talking about how you feel and like getting them thoughts from up here and putting them outside. Because if you leave them up here, they're just gonna get bigger and bigger and just get louder. So, yeah, I definitely dealt with that for sure.
Miss Brittany?
For me, definitely, even though your situation was different, but you talked about that pre-graduate depression. I started having it. I graduated spring 2012. That January, I felt the shift. I felt that difference. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to graduate. What is happening? When you in high school, you excited. I was excited. Like, I'm ready to go. Seniors, like, we out of here, But earlier that year, 2012, I was like, I felt lost. Like you said, I felt lost. I felt sad, mood swings, losing friends, just everything I felt wasn't clear. And we don't have those conversations. Nobody tells us, you go to a HBCU, you learn so much, but they don't have a class or a seminar, webinar to be like, hey, this is what to expect after graduation. This is normal, And so for me, when I graduated, I felt so lost. I remember I graduated, I think it was May 5th. Didn't have a job lined up. I was just sitting there like, I'm not going back home. That's the only thing I knew. I was like, I don't want to go back home. I can't go back home. I'm going to feel like a failure. Why would I go, I got away. Why would I go back home and I love home. I love Dayton, Ohio, but I'm like, I feel like a failure. Like, I'm not bringing nothing back. All I got is a degree, but what do I, and it was so many, like you said, those thoughts just constantly over and over and over again. So I literally planned a trip. Me and my friends planned a trip later that I think it was Memorial Day. Like, we just gonna go to Miami, got a little bit of money. We gonna go to Miami and we'll figure it out when we get back. Let's just enjoy our graduation month. But I remember being on a trip and we was on the beach and we were all talking. Like, we just felt lost. We couldn't even really enjoy the trip.
Yep. Wow. Yeah.
Lost. And I'm like, what? This ain't, what is happening? So I had came to the conclusion. I'm like, I'm going to have to go back home, figure it out. Mind you, I did apply to a few jobs. But then while I was there, I ended up getting a call for a job to do an interview. But even then, when I first started that job, I just felt kind of like, and I think we're going to talk about it a little later, just that imposter syndrome. Like, I don't deserve to be here. I didn't, work hard for this. I just doubted myself. But post-grad depression is so real. And I think we do. I know, Stevie, you speak and go to speak to different colleges, but we need to set something up because, I did have a friend commit suicide and different things like that. And so it's real, it's tough.
Wow.
It's tough being 18, 19, 17, however old, leaving home, or if you stayed going into college, but it's even tougher when you exit in and you really don't know what to do and nobody really told you and everybody's rooting for you and you don't want to let everybody around you down.
Wow.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
They teach us when you're in school, they're teaching us to chase success instead of chasing significance. And I think that there's a difference between success and significance. And when you know your significance, it's not based upon your degree alone.
Correct.
Like I just did the commencement at Russ this year, and I told them that it's one thing to have a degree, it's another thing to have a decree. And your decree is your purpose. Your decree is what the Most High, whatever you serve, has put in you to be able to do outside of whatever your profession or degree is, right? And I think that's the scary and frightening part. When you're faced with that, you're like, hold up, man. Now I have a degree. Did I do enough networking, or do I have enough contacts?
You start down everything.
And you're like, dang,
And do I need to redo this whole 4 years?
That same thing happened to me when I left the league, though. When I got done with football, it was the same kind of thing. So I would say post-football depression is real, bro. Yeah. And my daughter was born out of that depression. I wanted.
You said that in your book, right?
Yeah.
Most end up broken.
Most people end up broken when they get done playing the game because you're like trying to figure out what am I gonna do outside of football? Like what am I gonna do outside of being a student?
Yeah. That's your identity. That's been your whole identity for this
last 4 or 5 years or whatever. And then you're like, whoa, and so you gotta find a way, people, places, and things to get you in a space that you're comfortable to share, right? Because a lot of the times the pride in us being the chosen ones in our families, which many of us are, right? And then you're like, dang, well, how can the chosen one be fucked up? Excuse my language, but that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, we looking for the chosen one to be the chosen one, but the road to mastery is not always pretty.
Yeah.
The road to mastery is really ugly. Sometimes. I made a post today about me doing a headstand, and I showed the bloopers of it, and I showed the failures in it, because I think everybody shows the great moments, but we don't show that valley moment that really cultivated us to be able to stand on the mountaintop. So, that's beautiful.
I will say, and we're going to get to about it here after this, too, but what I will say is this. I think that we are always taught, first of all, to chase this American dream. Mm-hmm. You always you hear it from a kid. In most cases, hey, go to school, get you a good job.
Get an education, get a good job. Yeah, take care of your family.
I call it the American dream because that's what they really selling you, right? They don't. I think a lot of times we're not taught that. All right, yeah, you go to school, get a good job, unless you go to college on a full ride, and if you're blessed enough to do that, then cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. If you don't do that quote unquote good job that you're supposed to have,
right,
you paying for this degree that you just got.
Exactly.
Now, so you telling me this piece of paper I done worked so hard to get, I'm going in debt behind it,
and the job ain't even paying you enough.
And the job is not paying you enough, right? The job ain't even paying you enough to do that. They don't tell you that you can be underqualified for a job or overly qualified for a job.
Hello.
And the level of competition that you're gonna have, they're not. I feel like people are not telling you anything like that. And I also feel like kind of what you all said. A lot of times we aren't using all of our resources as far as networking and everything. Like you say, sometimes it's like, wait, I should have did this 4 years all over. Mm-hmm. But you really have to go out and get it yourself too. Yeah. Because it's just like people say all the time. It's so much that's out there. If you don't dig for it yourself though, you won't find it. You won't find it. Just like people say it all the time. There's different grants for different things out there. If you don't search for it yourself, it's not gonna come knocking on your door. So you have to take the initiative to network and do this, that, and the third to make your post-graduation the best ever. So, yeah, that's my thing. And I can understand why so many people definitely go through post-graduation depression because, like Brittany said, you'll sit there getting a regular job. And when I say regular, like, no disrespect to nobody when I'm saying regular, but, just if you're doing a 9 to 5, whatever, cool. But it's a different feeling when you're coming out of college because you feel like you're supposed to be in this certain career. You feel like you're supposed to be doing this, that, and the third, but you just not. And you feel like you're making somebody else rich when you feel like you're the one who's supposed to be in that position, even though it takes time to work up.
Yeah,
you feel like you're worth way more because you just went through all of this college.
Then you feel like some people, they like, well, dang, I done did this. Oh, you mean to tell me I got to do 2 more years? I got to do 4 more years? Like, I went back to school. Like, I graduated and then went back to school to go to grad school. So then you got post-grad. Like, it was a lot. Yeah, I'm like, well, maybe I need to do this again. I need some more degrees. I need some more.
Yeah. And we also like uniform to it. It's like once you go through them 4 years of, you might go to cheer practice, you go to football practice, go to class, go to whatever,
the routine,
practice. It's their routine. It ain't their routine no more. You know what I'm saying? So you just they're like dang,
hey, everybody moving.
What I do now? Yeah. So I feel like it's so many different reasons that people can get post graduation depression, and this is definitely real, and people need to pay attention to it. So I will say, make sure that you're doing everything throughout your college career, so that you don't have to really even suffer through that. Network like crazy. Use every opportunity.
And there's resources out here now, more so now than when Stevie was in school or when we were in school. Even him, cause like you said, he's the last in-person graduation with COVID. So there are a lot of resources out there now that can assist better with that. I wish we had it, but and maybe they were there and I just didn't search hard enough. But
even if you don't know,
life happens the way it should.
I say even if you don't know where to start looking, just ask somebody. Yeah, because you'll be surprised how I'll say it again, how your higher power put you in the right place at the right time. Literally,
around the right people.
You might be able to turn to the person next to you, who's like, "Hey, I got a question. My name's so and so, and I'm sorry to ask you to bother you. I just got a real quick question about something," and that can take you so far because that's how I've even myself have improved and found different outlets and opportunities like that. Just literally just talking and asking anybody. You got to be that. I wouldn't say desperate in a way, but you almost got to be desperate to keep going where you're going.
You do. Yeah. And I'll say this too. You play sports. It's something that a lot of people don't realize. College and the league is different. How many college teams you got out here? How many colleges is it in the world, right? That NBA, you probably got 12 to 14, maybe 15 players on the roster each year. You're looking at 400 and something players that's in the league per year. And I think it's only been, granted, you got overseas and stuff like that too. But in the NBA, it's only been maybe close to 6,000 players that's really ever touched the NBA court. So if you coming from college, if that's your whole goal to be in the NBA, that's cool. Nobody's saying you can't do it. People do it all the time. But if you really just set on that, first of all, you got to ask yourself, do you really love it enough to be one of them 400 and some players that's in that league? You know what I'm saying? You really got to ask yourself that, and I think that causes a lot of depression.
And what are you willing to do and
Because
sacrifice to get it?
Or are you good enough?
Are you really good enough?
Like
real?
self-inventory is real when it comes to suppression,
Say
depression.
that one more time.
Self-inventory.
Yes.
You know, I think the word, you know, I'm big in the words, DC, and it's like when I look at depressed, I also look at suppressed. I look at oppressed. And those things those are sub words that means that you're under something. In order for me to get over, I had to start looking within instead of looking without. And when I started doing self-inventory, I could say, okay, well, now I don't have to be depressed anymore because I know my value. My value is not based on anything external.
Correct.
It's based on what I have internally to move the external, right? And then for me, I personally, that's how I get out of depression. That's how I get out of anxiety, is because I recognize that whatever circumstance I'm facing, like full transparent moment, we just got out of a strike.
Man,
bro, just
talk
as
about
actors,
it.
like I went 6, 7, 8 months without getting one bag from my profession, right?
Talk about it.
So now you have to go within and reinvent yourself and be able to do other things. And I think we live in a society where we just feel like everything is all sweet and everything is always all good.
We comfortable sometimes.
A
lot of times.
But we also, beloved, project like it's all good.
Yeah.
And it's not always all good. And I think it's okay to say it, bro.
It's okay to not be. It's okay to not be okay.
Like I'm fucked up right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard. It's okay to be able to say that and articulate that you're going through it, because that's how someone can be like, "Oh, bro, you going through it? You ain't gotta go through it, bro. I know somebody who can help you."
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's what you were saying.
So what do you think that is then? And this is for all of y'all. So what do you think that mindset comes from? Is it pride? Is it like what is it that prevents us from wanting to ask for help or wanting to show that vulnerable space that we're in? Is it fear? Like, what do you think it is?
You remember earlier when I was saying we come from a place where I got it out the mud. I'm self-made. I think that piece of it has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I can't say,
well, seem like nobody
man,
helped me.
DC
Nobody
helped
gave me nothing. Got you.
Isaiah, my brother, he gave me a play. Like, why can't we celebrate one another in them times and spaces? Like, it's time out for all of that, y'all.
Yeah.
There's enough abundance in the world for everybody that like to shine.
For everybody.
You know, and that's what I think.
Okay.
Well, hey, that was a great perspective on it. I think that was your question. I got no question, but you can.
So my question was, because he said a lot of times we don't want to show that we need help and show that vulnerable side, and it's like, so I was asking, where do y'all think that comes from? Because a lot of us can really help each other and really like go to the next level. But what is that thing that's stopping us?
I think it's more so pride than anything, because I don't know where this whole mentality, I want to get it on my own, came from, or people.
But it's only our people though. I ain't gonna say it's only our people, but I feel
for some reason, because first of all, it's hard for a person to be like, people, they don't want to say that anybody did nothing for them or gave them that, or like this person helped me, because they always feel like they're gonna be, they're gonna owe that person.
Not?
I don't know personally, because I don't think that way, but that's what it is. It's just like like, especially with a man, I look at it the same way. It's like a man's pride, right? A man's like, man, I ain't never had to ask a man for nothing, whatever. To me, that's BS, because I'm going to ask. You know what I'm saying?
And to go back to what he said about that, I got out the mud, I'm self-made. And it's like, well, are you really, though?
No one is. And we all need help. We all need help. Matter of fact, I remember Coach Wyatt, when I came on my recruiting trip at Bethune, he said to me, 3 of the most powerful words in the English language is, I need help. And he said, I'm telling you, young man, I need your help. And that resonated with me more than any other coach that I went on visit with, because this man was vulnerable enough, and whether or not it was game, it worked. And guess what? I seen his sincerity throughout the years that wasn't bullcrap. He did need my help, and at the end of the day, we can do that with one another without having any malice or any pride with saying, man, my brother helped me or my sister gave me a play and now I'm here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I think asking for help, especially now, I think people feel like asking for help takes away from their own significance. Yeah. So, but I think the real genuine thing in it, like you were saying about Coach Wyatt, is that it gives somebody a moment of significance to them. Yeah. So, some people are so, focused on like receiving and trying to retain as much as they can for their own self-worth. I think there's more value in, giving somebody else, you know, showing somebody else that they have worth as well. Like, you know,
guess
I
what?
value, even though I don't know you, I might value your opinion or what you have to say.
Yeah.
So,
And our gifts aren't for us. Like, our gifts are not for us. But some of y'all stingy.
Some people are. But look, we gonna go on and wrap this up. All right, so Stevie, tell the people what you got going on next, man.
Yes, where they can find you.
All
Movies.
There you go.
So when is this airing? When can we say that?
January.
In January.
This in January.
So we in January.
So pop it, go ahead, pop it.
All right, so just had a movie come out December 21st called Whatever It Takes. It's on BT Plus. Tammy Roman, Brelly Evans, Candy Burris. It's a dope cast.
Yes, Whatever It Takes. You said on BT Plus?
BT Plus.
BT Plus, all right.
I mean, I did a movie called, Call Me Now. Miss Cleo, the tarot reader.
Yeah,
Call Me Now.
Call Me
With
Now.
Lady of Rage. That'll be out in 24. And in March, y'all got to see me on BMF. I got 6 out of 10 episodes on BMF.
Yes.
So check it out. I'm playing the Red Dog.
Yes,
Ted
sir.
Red Dog.
Congratulations. BMF, that's my show, okay? That's
Yes,
my show.
absolutely.
I do extras casting on BMF, so
That's what's up.
I like BMF.
No, well, man, we definitely appreciate you for
We
joining us
appreciate
today,
you,
man. And coming
Stevie.
through, taking time out of your busy schedule,
Yes.
man. My God. We
Make sure
appreciate
y'all
it.
follow him. You didn't tell them where they can follow you at.
Oh, everything at Stevie Baggs Jr. So Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook. Now go put your face in a book.
Ooh, and don't forget the Junior.
That's
DJ Duce, can you give us something to get up out of here?
Give us something to get
Fellow
up out of
Wildcat.
here.
Yes,
The
sir.
Yard Linkup.
Yard Linkup.
Let's go.
If it ain't right, it ain't right. If it ain't right, it ain't right.
All right. Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The boy futuristic aim. I'm quick to make the J's do the jump, man. Came. You got to know this the remix right here. Grand hustle, baby, it's the Kings right here. You got to